along to Players' Championship 1. And this looks very familiar. It looks very much like a final we had in Austria last year. Because it was. And the green jacket in Graz went to the man who would become world champion
3 more each.
about 8 months later. But isn't it encouraging to see Joe Cullen putting in decent performances today? And he might just need the kind of darts that he showed in the last round against Scott Williams, against Luke Littler here, Dan.
Well, he might. But you know what? If Luke Littler plays like he has in the first 2 rounds of this tournament today, Joe Cullen could win it without producing the 103 average that he did against Scott Williams. Because Luke Littler has gone back-to-back 91 and 87 averages, and it's been enough to see off Jim Long and then Martin Lutman in a repeat of the Grand Slam final. Joe Cullen has had 2 last leg decider victories. One where he's looks like he's thrashed Scott Williams and 59. Still had to go to a last leg. The first one against Greg Ritchie, new tour card holder, as Littler kicks off with a 180, and maybe the mediocre stuff is over already from Littler. But he had to survive a match dart against Greg Ritchie, who nearly won it with a 170.
180.
Well, first things first, this is our first streamed look at Joe Cullen. On this board, at least. And I honestly can't remember the last time I saw him throwing flights that weren't red. Maybe this isn't some sort of reaction to the lack of form from Manchester United. I don't know. Maybe it's superstition.
Maybe his trip up Kilimanjaro has transformed him. Climbed up Mount Kilimanjaro to raise money for charity, Joe Cullen, very recently. As I understand, he won't be doing it again.
Yeah, it's not the kind of thing you do every week.
65.
He does now have the record for the highest bullseye hit in the world.
Game shot.
And he does have the first leg of this contest looking very focused, looking relaxed, and looking sharp. And he did win Players' Championship 1 before in this building,
97.
days after winning the Masters in the last couple of years.
Well, it's a big year, this, for Joe Cullen. It's a big year for a load of players, but Joe Cullen, as things stand, outside the match play spots,
134.
he is staring down the barrel of Euro Tour qualifiers.
137.
Yeah, he's currently outside the spots for Euro Tour qualifiers. We've got our first ones at the end of this doubleheader here. And he's having to play in those. He might have to play in the ones for 3 and 4 as well, unless he goes and does some stuff, say today.
It's an interesting talking point, isn't it?
100.
1, 2, 4. Familiar shot on this board. Double 11.
100.
So close.
5 for double top. Double 10.
35.
No, Luke Littler to go 2-0 down. Just stay straight to leave double 4, which he loves. He's not got it.
7.
They are the moments you have to win. Maybe he didn't.
6.
So now it's back to double 2. It's a bit scruffy all of a sudden, but if Joe can win the good legs and the scruffy ones, it will bode well.
2.
Well, what a gift this was for Joe Cullen to break the Littler throw early. But Littler keeps on insisting that he take this present.
Biggest thing is, you've got to understand that you can win this situation and take a 2-0 lead. He won't keep missing.
Game shot.
Now that thing on the qualifiers, Dan, because we've harped on for the best part of a decade about Joe being better on the European Tour. He has won floor tournaments. He can do it. But there was something on the horizon in 2025. Getting into a 100 event streak on the European Tour. He's going to do it. He's going to need darts like this in the next 48 hours and beyond.
Well, Joe Cullen missed 9 darts at double in the previous leg. He is not going to complete the next leg in 9 darts, but he's going to complete it
109.
Potentially in 10. It is a bizarre mix of the brilliant and the baffling so far in this game.
140. Game
That is how you do it. Great bounce back. Lesser players would have been befuddled by the previous leg and said, why is this happening now against the world champion?
58.
But Joe soaked it up and just moved on and found that 11-darter.
This is the world champion, of course, Luke Littler.
123.
So far this year, when he has lost, he has averaged anywhere between about 105 and 110 in defeat.
180.
So far today, he has averaged 87, 91, and now somewhere in that region again at the moment. He is very, very beatable today, and I can't, looking at him, I don't know. I don't think he's doing anything funky. It doesn't look like he's changed his equipment. Doesn't look like he's massively changed his throw or anything. He's not turned up here just to experiment by the looks of it. He's just not playing very well so far today.
45.
In his previous game with Martin Lukman on the other streaming board with commentary, because there are 4, he did
140.
tailor his rhythm a little bit towards the end of the match. He was a lot more deliberate.
64.
I'm not sure how much extra benefit that 25-ball bull gave Cullen.
62.
Luke Littler continues to miss doubles. Well, you left it, Joe. You've got to hit it. Treble 20. Not found.
89.
Both hitting the bull on approach. Or another double 2.
Don't hit the double 15.
Game shot.
Wow. How has that gone in?
Has it gone in? Well, Luke's the ref. He knows. And he has gone in, but must have been right in the corner.
180.
Absolutely brilliant shot from the world champion. Fair play to Joe, though. He's starting legs brilliantly, isn't he?
Well, the change on the Euro Tour last year helped players like Joe Cullen.
58.
But even then, he was winning so few games that he started to fall out of the protection of that. They have changed it again this year, and it really does not help him. He has to do good work on the floor, and he knows it. He can't coast. He can't just turn up to these and think, pick up the odd few grand here and there. He has to get it right here, because if he doesn't get it right here, he may not get many chances anywhere else.
Chris Dobie said 12 months ago, when he was not included in the Premier League for 2024,
95.
for a second consecutive campaign, I've got to figure out my floor game. What did he do? He was #1 seed on the floor for the year. Joe's got to do the same.
45.
We are seeing bright sparks here on Monday afternoon. However, he skirted that chance for Littler. And when he gets opportunities like 20 left with 3 darts in hand, he must not miss.
But he has missed. And you can see he's not happy with the deflection. Double 4. Double 2 again. My
14.
word. Luke Littler doesn't look like he knows where double 2 is. And yet he's produced one of the best darts we've seen at it in months.
Doesn't like it. He will like that one. What we're seeing from Luke in this game, Dan, is him on double 8, on double 4, and double 2 a lot. Being on double 8 is fine. That's a single breakdown double. Double 4 is sometimes that, but double 2 is never a primary one.
180.
It's predominantly secondary and tertiary. So it's actually proving what he's going for
40.
in how good he's been at the outer ring on total, and he's barely leaving tops and 10s.
Yeah. Well, the second leg when he was on double 2, it was breaking down the tops and 10s and then missing inside on the 5s. But Joe Cullen, for the second time in this match, is on a 9-darter.
46.
For the second time in the match, he can't get the 7th dart. But it won't really matter if he continues
60.
to score like this at the start of legs. He's going to get chances. He is so much better than Luke Littler in this game.
55.
It is for a break of throw.
Game shot.
And it's clinical for a second 11-darter in this match. He will now believe that this game is his. There's still plenty to do.
The number 2 seed here today, Luke Littler,
80.
the world champion, the world number 2. A man who, when he has been beaten so far this year, has been unreal. Is
97.
barely averaging 80. And Cullen continues to pile in the big visits. He's had 2 177s and 5 180s in this game.
100.
We're starting to see from Littler a bit of ferocity in some of his darts, in anger.
59.
He should be angry. He hasn't played like this badly in months.
$97.
Cullen looks really relaxed.
135.
And that's because he could be on the cusp of being 3 ahead and within 501 points of the next round.
Winner to face Jan van Veen or Adam Hunt. It's 4-3 to the young
79.
Dutchman in that one. Double 16. Next door.
34.
Hold the phone. Something might be changing. Not quite. That was a really
88.
interesting choice. That first start was a bit wobbly and it covered most of the bed.
Game shot.
But Joe Cullen is covering the spread. He's 3 ahead. Getting some really big performances in this round, Dan.
100.
Almost 105 average from Luke Woodhouse in a great game with Dylan Slevin.
Yeah. Dimitri Vandenberg averaged 113 earlier.
134.
And then got done to 0 by Johnny Clayton in the next round. Jermaine Watermain has averaged 102 and beaten Callan Ridds, who averaged in excess of 100. Rob Cross averaged 105, same as Luke Woodhouse. There are some big displays. And I tell you who isn't putting in a big display. The world champion, who for the 3rd game running here today has looked very, very beatable, except this time it looks like he will be beaten.
$99.
Possibly not in this leg.
$65.
But you never know. That 77 is very tricky when you've been missing as many doubles as he has.
81.
But that's not really the amount of pressure that Joe wanted to put on this.
Is double 10 there this time?
Game shot.
Eventually, double 10 is pinned by Luke Littler. He's won 2 legs on double 2 and 1 on double 10.
100.
The finishing's been poor from Cullen, to be fair.
Yeah, if you'd said to Cullen that his percentage after 8 legs was going to be that, he'd say,
130.
so I lost 6-2 then.
Yeah, but if you told him that he was going to get that many darts at double in the match, he thought he'd have won it already.
49.
Fair point. You can't afford to be defensive here. You can't slow down. The intensity's got to be high.
140.
Because we all know that Littler can wrap off 3 straight legs in fast fashion when he's had a bad start. Just ask Ryan Meikle.
100. $91.
2 treble visit here for Cullen, or a 3 treble visit. Oh my word. It is superb from Joe Cullen. It's half a dozen maximums from him. He leaves a 2-darter.
He's got his chance. Littler has just seen that Cullen is on 72 to beat him.
Staying on the 20s. Gives him a match start at double 16. And the world champion is beaten, and deservedly beaten. It has not been a good day for Luke the Nuke Littler. He got away with some below par performances in rounds 1 and 2, but he was not going to get away with that one against Cullen, who has averaged 95, hitting half a dozen 180s and missing more than 3/4 of his darts at double. But it is Cullen who is through to the last 16.